The blockbuster of the summer is coming. July 3rd.
Ken Kniff's here?
That was my inspiration.
And it's always a good way to start an interview. Yeah.
Not since Independence Day has a film awaited so much anticipation and excitement as this music film that's coming on Apple Music for Phenomenal. I hear you've been doing your own stunts.
No pressure?
No pressure.
Right. I mean, we're just trying to do something different, you know, and put me in a different scenario, different setup, different scenery, different, you know what I'm saying, than the norm.
The song is part of the original soundtrack, you know, for Southpaw, which you've executive produced. And I mean, is there other music that's coming through on the soundtrack from you, or how did you put the soundtrack together for Southpaw for the movie that's coming on July 24th?
Well, the soundtrack me and Paul have actually been working on, just kicking ideas back and forth, trying to figure out who we think would be the best for. I mean, there's scenes in the movie. There's, you know, the overall theme of the movie, and, you know, we got music from Action Bronson, 50, myself, Royce the 5'9", Slaughterhouse.
And when did the idea to work on this movie, on this script first come up? Because the way that I read it, you know, it's been something, a passion project of yours for some time.
Well, the actual movie, the concept, when did that come about, Paul? Yeah, almost 5 years ago. There was a script in the works, and the idea of it, and the idea originally was to have me in it. And I just, at the time that they were ready to shoot and everything was starting to come together, it just didn't, my schedule didn't work with it.
Had you been in preparation for that role up to that point? Had you, in good faith, been thinking, yeah, okay, I'm going to have a go at this?
It was somewhere in the back of my mind, but at the same time, I believe I was just finishing the Marshall Mathers LP, too. The time would not have really been, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So that part sucked, but at the same time, we believed in the project. I believed in it, you know, and wanted to have something to do with it. You know, I knew I wanted to have something to do with it. Paul knew he wanted to have something to do with it. So,
what was it about the script? What was it about the story? Because, you know, after 8 Mile, you did something that very few people who have success like that out the gate do, and you walked away from that idea of filming, of film and acting and working in cinema, and you, I guess, waited for the right project. So what was it about Southpaw in particular that you loved or love?
The script was incredible. Everything about it that was dope when it was first presented. But seeing how Jake Gyllenhaal just smashed it, like, you know, it just made sense that we still wanted to have something to do with the project. So, you know, we circled back around and we're like, what if we did music for it?
So Phenomenal itself as a song. Can you just paint the picture for us? Can you put us in the mood you were in when you wrote it, when you made it? You're in the studio, I guess, in Detroit, I guess, you know, but putting it together and what it was like putting that song together.
I had Slaughterhouse coming to town, and we were talking about I was making beats for them, stuff for the movie too, you know, but once I had started doing that beat and laid the hook to it, felt like, okay. And they ran it with the trailer, the first trailer that came out.
Right.
And it seemed to fit so well with the theme of everything that I was like, all right, let me go ahead and finish this one for it.
Was it just the script? You a boxing fan? Is there actually, like, is there a love for the sport?
I'm a super boxing fan. I don't miss many fights.
When did you first, like, start taking interest in boxing, like the actual sport of boxing?
I mean,
as a kid,
yeah, for sure. I mean, I always wanted to learn how to fight, so
this would have been your shot, man, in this movie as well. Did they get you that far? Were you at that point with the scheduling of the movie where you would have seen, like, what kind of training you would have had to have done? Because Gyllenhaal's pinch, he's built up for the role.
Yeah, I had, you know, prior to Southpaw, and even probably about 7-8 years ago, I trained for about a year with Emmanuel Stewart, and then probably close to another year with Hill McKenzie. But it was just, you know, boxing in my garage.
That in itself is, like, serious. To get in with people like that, training you like that, I mean, I guess they're not pulling punches on you, right? There's no point in them going easy.
No, I mean, not some of the people that I sparred with, nah, for sure. But it was just, you know, boxing in my garage.
That in itself is, like, serious. To get in with people like that, training you like that, I mean, I guess they're not pulling punches on you, right?
Not some of the people that I sparred with, nah, for sure.
It sounds like a ridiculous thing to think, but you when you're in the ring and you're sparring with somebody, I mean, do you think that they're thinking at the same time, man, I better not knock Eminem out?
Nah, I don't think anybody was thinking that. If anything, it was, I'm gonna knock this say that I did it. that's how you learn. Not saying I ever got my ass whipped.
How'd you run?
Ever.
How'd you run?
I got my ass whipped a couple times.
Thank God for Jake Gyllenhaal, huh?
Right.
So it's phenomenal. Where does it feature in the actual film? Like, what's the inspiration, from Southpaw to that particular song?
The original idea was to have something for a particular montage where they actually had used originally Till I Collapse. And they wanted something like that with similar energy. So I came up with Phenomenal. And what I had done was that I did the beat first and laid a hook, like kind of a scratch hook or whatever, and sent it to him.
Had you seen the montage? Did they talk you through what the idea of it would be and what the emotion of that montage is? Because I've always thought, like, personally speaking, I've always thought like writing a song or being involved in anything that involves in a montage, that's cinema gold.
That is true, and that I just
if you
realized
could be
that.
that song,
by you saying that, because I think of Rocky.
I think of Flashdance. I think of the greatest montages of all time.
I don't know if I think of Flashdance, but it's not necessarily the first thing that comes to mind.
Too much?
It's there somewhere, but Rocky would probably...
Rocky be the one?
Yeah, Rocky would come to mind first. There's no easy way out. It's a long way home.
Was that
right?
also...
Come on, man, you know that song.
I do know that
because
song.
of Rocky.
What
you
about
know that song?
What about You're the Best Around?
Nothing in the world can bring you down.
That was a montage, wasn't it?
The best. That is in that too, right?
The best around was Karate Kid.
It was Karate Kid.
Yes.
Thank you. Joe Esposito, I think, was Karate Kid 3.
Yeah, what are you talking? Don't you feel stupid now?
Hey, I know his name. Joe Esposito.
I knew that was Karate Kid. That's why I was saying.
I'm going to play some right now. I'm going to play some Joe Esposito right now on the show. You're the best around.
I don't think it's you're the best around. We should just spend the hour just doing this.
Eminem is with us right now on Beats One Worldwide, always on Apple Music. When you see, I know you say Jake Gyllenhaal absolutely killed it, and I can't wait to see him in the film, but was there a moment when you were watching it back like, man, I wish my schedule had freed up. I wish I could have had a crack at this?
Yeah, for sure. There was part of me that was like, this is crazy.
That's the role.
But, I mean, I wouldn't change a thing about it, because the way that Jake did it, he smashed it. The movie's incredible.
Who wrote it? Who wrote the screenplay?
Kurt Sutter. And being a huge fan of Sons of Anarchy as well, like the chance to work on something with him, something that he did is incredible.
So what's that role gonna be? Because we're all kind of waiting. A little part of our subconscious is waiting for that one role that's going to put you back on screen again. You were amazing in 8 Mile. I revisited that film not long ago. It's timeless work you did in that film. Really, as difficult as it was for you, it's held its own. And it's like, what is that role going to be? And it is hard to think. Like Southpaw was it at one point, wasn't it? When you look at it, when you look at the script, who wrote it? You look at the director. You look at schedule. What is that role now? Would you have to wait another 10 years? Or longer? 15?
I mean, for me, I have fun. I have fun doing little cameos too, in movies.
Yeah, in the interview I saw that.
Yeah, that is fun to me because it's not, when you're doing a movie like that, you've got to commit. And I don't have trouble necessarily committing to things, but it has to be something I gotta be super, super passionate about.
It's this or this.
My music that I'm so obviously passionate about.
Yeah.
I've got to put this on hold. Yeah, it's weird. As of yesterday.
Me too.
But it has to be something that I have to realize, okay, I can't do my first passion. You know what I'm saying? Like this is everything to me. This is where everything stems from. This is what it's about to me. It has to be something that I have to be able to, it has to be strong enough to make me to get my interest. And not saying that Southpaw wasn't.
Yeah, because you were thinking about it at one point.
For sure. It just what happened with that was the timing was so bad as far as me finishing, like working on the Marshall Mathers LP for as long as I did, part 2, as long as I had the time that I had already put into it, and now we've got a deadline and we've got to finish it. And I'm gonna need to set aside at least a year. And I won't be able to finish this.
Because otherwise you would have been potentially right back where you were during that time making 8 Mile, which with all the success and all the great creativity that came out of that and the end results. I know just from talking to you today and speaking to you after that, when the dust settled, you're not in a hurry to go back to that kind of that's the intensity of having to juggle those 2 or 3 roles, right? I mean, it's
like I said, it was fun, but
madness.
It wasn't fun because it permits you no time for a life.
When you perform Lose Yourself on stage, and it's such an important part of the show, it's one of the biggest songs in your canon, and one that people always look forward to hearing live. You know, you think that's probably the only time you probably think about that song is when you're on stage and you perform it at that point. Do you get, you must feel different about that, knowing how it changed your life. That song totally changed your life. I mean, your life was changed before that, but that's when things went completely crazy.
Yeah, I think that, you know, in a way, it's like if there was no 8 Mile, there would be no Lose Yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because I needed that movie. That movie gave a little different, a slight edge of inspiration that I don't think I had back at that particular time.
Yeah.
You know, it was good because doing that movie kind of put me right back in certain elements, and you know, it made me for some reason feel hungry again.
Yeah.
You know, like just the whole battle rap scene.
You could see it on the screen.
Everything.
You could totally feel it in the movie, and you know, I just. If you hadn't done it, if you hadn't actually thrown yourself into that workload, into those kind of sleepless nights of just trying to think like about the image of you writing that song. I mean, wasn't it literally like writing and recording it in your trailer on the set overnight?
It was like being a hamster, and you're just going from one cage, one wheel to the next. You know, like it was a music trailer, and it was the trailer where I got to learn the lines. You know, learning the scenes and
writing the rhymes and
then writing and trying to record, and then trying to, you know, get a little workout in here and there. Like I was just going from one trailer to the next workout trailer, going to the, you know, to the studio trailer, then back to learning the lines, and then in between takes, I remember like writing in between takes, like writing on my hand because I didn't have a piece of paper at the time. And like I said, it was fun, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. Yeah.
It was intense. It was intense.
Would you like to kind of work in cinema and do more things like that, exec produce?
Listen, it depends on what it is. You know, I make music, and whatever comes along that seems like it might be interesting or fun, because at this point, I just want to have fun with it, you know? Like, I just want to make sure that whatever it is something that I'm passionate about and that I believe in, you know, because otherwise, just going through the motions.
Music, of course, is why we're here. It's how I got to know you 16 years ago was through your music, and you know now we're here on Beats One on this new station, broadcasting around the world.
You like music?
A little bit. Marshall.
It's weird. I didn't. How you doing? We just met.
Yeah, just met. Nice to see you. Yeah,
Marshall.
Yeah. More of a movie guy, actually. Cat's out the bag there.
Right.
Kept a straight face for a long time. More interested in French cinema.
Same.
Marshall Mathers too, the LP that came out, and you know you toured more on that record than you had done in the past, and you seem to kind of make peace with the road a little bit. Is that a fair assessment to make?
Yeah, it is, for sure. I like doing shows. It was never really about the shows. That was never had nothing to do with anything. It was more about being on the road and being away from home, being away from my kids, and the whole thing just became too much at one point, you know. Mm-hmm. So now that everything is a little more settled down, like I feel like, you know, it was time to do that, and it was good. It's just being on the road for weeks at a time, months at a time. That part I never really dug.
So new music to come in the future. That's exciting. And July, like I said, July 24th, Southpaw the movie soundtrack out on the same day. Who's on the soundtrack again? Action Bronson's on it. Slaughterhouse is on it. How many tracks you got on it? 2?
3 or 4.
3 or 4 tracks on it. Cool.
I can't count. Past
2. One or the other.
I'm a little shaky. Past 2.
Between 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Somewhere
between 3 or 4 songs. Maybe there's 3.5.
Well, listen, man, it's been good to see you, and I can't wait to hear whatever comes out, as always, out of the studio. So thanks for your time.
Cool, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.